Okay, my name's Jsky. I'm joined by an actual music legend. The one and only Trevor Nelson is here at Blackpool Rocks to do his set shortly. Welcome to Blackpool, mate.
No problem, mate. I love Blackpool.
Yes.
That's why I agreed to do this.
Yes.
Came here years ago, several times. Did a few clubs, but never anything on this scale.
Right.
And you know, Danny Howard being one of my colleagues at Radio 1 and One Extra, I just thought it's making sense having to try and pull off something for Blackpool. You know, we don't do things like this normally up here, so.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of big names on tonight.
Yeah.
It's hard, I think, for new DJs to get that sort of legendary status that you've got.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to people out there?
It's really hard.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. Danny, for example, Danny Howard, who's from up here.
Yeah.
He won a competition, got on Radio 1, just done that. With me, it was different. It's like years and years and years and years of gradual graft and loving my music. And to be fair, the only advice I can give people is if you don't have passion for it, you ain't gonna make it. I mean, I didn't get into this to be here this long doing DJing. It was always a hobby, so I just always loved it. So it was easy. I mean, passion, application. Unfortunately today, brand awareness is key, but I hate saying that because we were doing that without realising we were doing that when I started. So I prefer to be a DJ that broke through a long time ago than now. Now is really competitive, really hard,
What, I mean, obviously, a lot of music nowadays it sounds the same, to be honest. It's kind of boring. What excites you and what are you looking forward to in 2014?
That's really interesting.
Yeah?
You're right. I mean, I put a CD out last year,
I know.
an 80s, 90s, naughty CD. It just went ballistic. It went crazy. It was the biggest CD of the year of that kind, and it told me a lot. It told me that people, every time I DJ, people want to hear old school R&B all the time. You know, some of the new stuff's all right, but I think, you know, I enjoy playing new music on radio. I really do. The sounds they come up with, that you know, it's different, but it's not exactly club banging. If you get what I mean, it's not the sociable style I like. I love 90s, noughties.
It's the best time
all day. And even tonight, it's rammed in that room, and we're playing mainly that. And they're young, so they love it too. So I think that music today, there's a lot of artists that I like. They're very introvert, unfortunately. People like Sampha. You know, people like that, they're very, but they're very introverted, so they're not club artists. You've got to buy their album, you've got to get them. And a lot of the UK artists today are very much like that. And, you know, it's more listening than dancing. And so dance music right now has had a resurgence, man. It's massive. And hip-hop's actually laying a bit low, to be fair. You take Kanye and Jay-Z out of the picture, and J. Cole, ASAP, and a couple of people, and Kendrick, there's no real scene out there.
It's not like hip-hop, as I remember it to be honest. It's more like throwaway of the moment stuff.
I mean, I don't want to knock it, but it's trap, it's different, it's not as sociable. And everyone's dancing like this right now.
It's not about the
message. And they're not out there doing their thing, you know, like sociable. But listen, I ain't hating on it. I think it's. Listen, every era comes around and people say it's not as good as it was in my day, you know, and in 10 years people will be going, it was better 10 years ago, you know, it's always going to be like that.
Do you have plans to ever start your own label or anything like that? Because people respect your opinion.
Yeah, well, I used to run a record label for EMI many years ago, Cool Tempo, D'Angelo, Misha Paris, people like that. I hated it, man. I mean, I signed a few artists. I signed in David Hall, he was a great singer, but unless you're going to be pop and very, very commercial, you can't get into that game. You know, the record industry is business first. You know, it's business, then music second, and unless that's where you come from, and I don't come from there, so I lasted 5 years. I ducked out. I decided to be a radio DJ more, and now I do one of the youngest stations in the country, one of the oldest, Radio 2.
Both sides of the map.
So I love it, man. I'm having a great time. This is all, for me, this is all like extracurricular. This is great. This is just fun to me, you know. Okay.
Last question. It's a bit of a weird one. What would you say if someone asked you to be a judge on like the X Factor or The Voice or something like that?
It's not a weird one. A lot of people have said that to me. Yeah, a lot of people said, "Would you ever do that?" I mean, I've done some judging on some jokey shows, you know, like celebrity. I wouldn't do reality TV. And that's probably the only part I would even consider because I think that, you know, I like The Apprentice, I like that a little bit, I pop up on that, but I mean, it's what I used to do, you know, A&R is just that. There's a lot of good A&R men out there. Simon Cowell, for example, was just an A&R man who happens to have a vicious wit and he was quite vicious as an A&R man, and that's why he's just doing what a lot of guys have to do.
Okay.
So, in answer to your question, boy, it'd have to be the right kind of gig, because I don't know, I don't want to be a celebrity, you know, as long as it's the right gig.
I respect that so much. Thank you for the interview.
No problem, bro.
Pleasure to meet you.
All good, bro. All good. Take care, man. I'm going to go and kill it now.